Yeah. Right. So I'll disassemble this and then we'll build it from ground up. So let me take everything down. Right. So we have um, a power source which is a 9 volt battery. This is the battery, 9 volt battery with the connector. We have LEDs, red, green, and blue, and yellow. Red, green, and yellow LEDs. We have one resistor. You can use any resistor, but just choose a reasonable resistor. This is a 110 ohm resistor, and then I have two jumper wires and some other resistors and another LED and a breadboard. Right. So this is how we use the breadboard. On the breadboard, there are lines that indicates the connection. So we have this line on the extreme right. It's a blue line indicating a negative, and the red lines indicating a positive. So when you come here on the extreme right, okay, so the same thing is on the other side of the breadboard. So it's divided into two. It's basically the same thing on the top on the top section and the same thing on the um, base section. So whatever is here, same thing is repeated here. So we have the same connections here as the same connections at the top here, separated by this space here. And then we also have four subdivisions here. You see, this section, and then we have this section because the line here isn't continuous, right? It ends here, then it continues here. So this section is different. This section is one section, this is another section, this is another section, and this is another section. Right. So now the connections, how are these how do you use the breadboard? First, when coming to the extreme left and then the extreme right, the line indicates continuous connection. So all these pins here are connected. Same here. All these pins on this red line are connected. When you come down here to its same, all these pins here are connected and then all these pins here are also connected. But you should note that there's a space here which indicates that the pins here are not connected to the pins here. Right, so these ones are also connected but are not connected to the pins here. They are separate sections. Right. When you come to the middle section, in the middle section, the connection is not horizontal. This time it's vertical. Right. So when we take this line, let's say the first column, all the pins, there are 5 pins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 pins are connected. When you come to the next one, these 5 pins are also connected. Right. So that's how the breadboard works. Now we're going to connect our power supply to our breadboard. So we'll take our positive terminal and put it in this positive, right, in there. Take our negative terminal of our battery and also put it in there. Right. Now we have our battery set. Now we have to connect our LEDs, our three LEDs. So the red first. So we connect it this way. The LED has two terminals. It has the positive and then the negative. Mostly when you buy a new one, if it hasn't been cut or mostly been used, the positive terminal will be longer than the negative terminal. So in this case, this is my positive terminal and this is my negative terminal. So I'm going to connect it so that the negative terminal here will be in a line with this negative terminal, right? So I'll make sure this is in any of these holes here on the negative terminal, right? So I'll connect it this way, right? I don't care where the positive terminal goes, so it just goes into the other section somewhere out here. Then I'll do same for the others too. Same, the negative comes here, then the positive goes there. The last one, same, the green LED, negative comes here. I'm set, my LEDs are set also. Now I have to connect a resistor right, to reduce the currents flowing through the circuit, because this is a 9 volt battery. These LEDs maximum can take 3 volts or maybe like 4 volts, right? So we have to reduce the current flowing through the circuit. So because if we don't include a resistor, it's going to burn the LEDs. Too much current to burn the LEDs. So I have to find a way and put a resistor in between the positive terminal of the battery and all the LEDs. So all these lines, all these spots here on the red terminal on where the red line is are connected. So I'm going to put one of the terminals of the resistor. Resistors are not, the polarity doesn't matter. So you just put it in any direction. So I'll put one here. Now I'll put one in this section of the anywhere in this section of the board. And I'll take my red. I mean, the color doesn't really matter, but you just have to use any male to male jumper wire. All right, so it's a male to male jumper wire because it has a pin here and it has a pin here too, right? If it was a female to male, it will have one male, which is the pin, and then the female terminal has a hole instead of a pin, right? So, so yes, a typical example of a male to female. This side is the male because it has a pin, and then this side is the female because it has the hole. So you can insert them this way. There are also female to female pins, right? These ones have two holes, right? So a hole here and a hole here. So this is a female to a female. This is a male to a female, and this is a male to a male because it has two pins, right? So when it comes to these, the sections in the middle, they are connected vertically, right? So the five ports on the pin on the column where I connected my resistor, they are all connected now. So I can connect one terminal of this um, jumper wire to any of these pins. So I'll use this side so that they are in line, right? So now I have my positive here now. When I connect it to any line where the one of the LEDs is connected, it's supposed to light up, right? So if I connect it to this where the red LED is, the red LED is supposed to light up, so it is on. Now if I move it to the yellow, so let's try. Yep, the yellow LED is also on. And then if I move it to the green, now the green LED is also on. Right, so we should try this and then see how it goes.